What's up, Xpod Nation? This is just a video that's never getting recorded. I've practiced it a few times to where I just couldn't get it under 20 minutes, and by the time I finally got it recorded last night, there was no sound for whatever reason. So this is part 5, or take 5, or whatever. So anyways, part 2 of my getting in a fight with pulmonary embolism story. So last we heard, I got put into the ICU, and that was just definitely an experience, man. Well, first off, when it comes to the ICU, and first thing I'm going to say, I'm not criticizing the hospital or even their nurses. The nurses there, they were awesome. The nurses did something that irritated me a little bit, and they did it like 3 times. But it wasn't a big deal. But overall, they did a great job. I was definitely in a critical moment with a clogged whatever because of the blood clot, and yeah, they did a good job of just helping me out. So anyways, regarding the ICU, other than the fact that the nurses were awesome, it sucked big time. But then again, it's a intensive care unit. What do you expect people to say about an intensive care unit? Like, oh man, it was just so awesome, man. I felt like I was in a spa. I was pampered and so relaxed. And no, it's an intensive care unit. Oh, regarding the funny thing that the nurses did that irritated me, it happened twice in the ICU, and one time once I finally got my own room. And this was mainly with breakfast, where and the food was actually pretty good. At the hospital, it didn't taste like sadness and broken dreams like in hospital food in America. And so anyways, I was putting out the food that I wanted. And so I was like, okay, I want scrambled eggs, and I wanted to get I want to have the bacon, I want to have the ham. And they had 2 out of 3 side orders. And you could pick 2, and the third one was sausage. But oh my god, guys, unless you go to a really top-notch supermarket here in Thailand, hot dogs are sausages. It's not a sausage, man. It's not a sausage. It's a damn hot dog. So anyways, I ordered ham, and I ordered bacon. And so when breakfast finally came, I was like, yeah, awesome. And so I see, all right, here's my ham. Yeah, there's my bacon over there. Yeah. Where the hell's my eggs? For whatever reason, I didn't twice. Down there in ICU, I didn't get my scrambled eggs, so I'd have to ask the nurse, like, nurse, hey, come over here. I have no scrambled eggs. Can I get some, please? And, oh, sorry. And so they ordered it, and when they brought up the scrambled eggs, I also had an extra side of bacon, extra side of ham. So that led me to believe all 3 times that happened was, for whatever reason why, the nurse thought that I just wanted to have the bacon and the ham, but no scrambled eggs. So, anyways, that was the funny part there. So, now for the non-funny parts, I'm going to try to make it amusing with my twisted sense of humor. So, yeah, since I needed to get some blood thinners to clear up my sorry, I lost my train of thought. My blood clot. For the first 3-4 days, I was getting liquefied concentrate shots of my blood thinner from a needle that's about that big, and they were injecting full-blown molten lava into my stomach. And I get the fact that they had to do that, and they did it twice a day. Just to basically get a concentrate in there to start breaking up the blood clot in my system so I don't die. But man, it was not fun at all. The other thing that I really didn't like, and this is just not with the ICU, this is just the entire time in the hospital, where actually 2 things about this, was the beds or it was the bed that I was in. And I didn't bother switching beds because I knew that just no matter what, I'd still have the same horrible experience. The bed, all I could do was lay down on it. I couldn't lie on the side or anything like that. It was just, all I could do was lay on my back. And for the life of me, no matter what, I cannot go to sleep on my back. It just won't happen. And the nurses, they're just the sweethearts that they were. They would always ask me, "So, did you have a good night's sleep?" It's like, no, didn't. I can't go to sleep on my back. And they're telling me that, oh, come on, you got to be positive, you can do it. It's like, no, this has nothing to do with pessimism. This has to do with reality. I'm going to be 41 in July. If I can't fall asleep on my back by now, it's just not going to happen. The only time I do fall asleep on my back is when I pass out from exhaustion, and that's about the only time I ever really did want to sleep, because anytime I go to sleep, I'd wake up, I'd notice I was maybe 2 to 3 hour increments, and that was really about it. The other thing about the ICU was the fact that there were no toilets in there. Yeah, I had to use like a big jug to go and pee in, and initially when I first started, I would just have to lean to the side to use it until I finally talked to nurses and to just let me stand up, please. Because, yeah, I know that I have a big thing, gigantic, monstrous thing, that could point in all directions to just let loose, but I cannot do it anywhere. I had to stand up, and they were cool about it. And the other thing too was about the toilets, or yeah, lack of toilets is what was it? How do I get this clean? Yeah, I wanted to wait until I had my own room before number two. The way I was able to do that was I only ate breakfast, and just the rest of the day I just had nothing but water, and mainly because I was doing that anyway because I was pretty dehydrated when I came in. And there was one time where I just thought, it's like, I can't do it anymore, I have to go. And they brought a wheelchair that was pretty much like a makeshift toilet. I was like, I don't care, because my stomach was killing me. And so I got out of the bed, I sat in that thing, and no, I didn't sit in the thing. Even if I wasn't as big as I was, and I was back at my high school weight of 200 pounds, that wheelchair was made for Asian hips, not gigantic Western rhino hips like me, especially since, oh yeah, I forgot to mention about the bed, or just with me in general, I'm 6'2", I'm a pretty large guy. So that really sucked, but my stomach started calming down, so like, all right, I could just wait this out. So that was, yeah, that really did make me nervous. And give me just a minute right now, I'm going to have to upload this into my computer and have a second part of part 2, because I don't have much memory left on my phone here. I need to get a new memory card, so I'll be right back. 3, 2, 1. Anyways, like I was saying, I didn't like the lack of toilet in the ICU, so you gotta pretty much understand, I'm sure you would feel it the same way. Now once you get your own room, you get your own toilet, oh my god, I felt like king of the world, especially first time I used it. So that was good. And so let's see, what else? Oh yeah, the physical therapy. Now physical therapy, that stuff was just kind of boring at first, where I was like, okay, just gotta do this, do this 20 times, blah 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 blah. Although it did actually kind of turn into work, just for the fact that I just had no oxygen flowing through my body. So just even doing the simple curls there with 0 ounce curls, yeah, that actually started to turn into work. And then I finally had to do, at the end of my first physical therapy, I think it was the 3rd day of being in the hospital, I got out and they said, go ahead, start walking. And they helped me along doing it. And I only made it maybe about 5-6 steps out of the bed before I was like, okay, I want to go back, especially since I had to take oxygen out of my nose to go and walk, and yeah, I still needed oxygen. So, and plus I was really nervous for the fact that my legs were just really hurting when I was walking. I just wanted to get back into the bed, my safe zone. And so I was like really just feeling battered and scared too, man. I was thinking, oh God, if I'm in that much pain, how the hell am I going to be getting back to normal? Until I started realizing that, you know what, at least up to that point, I think at day 4, yeah, day 3 or day 4, I would probably hadn't even been on my feet for a full hour. And with, yeah, like I was saying, with the lack of oxygen going through my muscles, yeah, that's not good. So that was the reason why I was in a lot of pain with my legs. But what was really cool was the fact that, and it was these little victories that was just so awesome, was when the anticoagulants, the blood thinners, really started to do their job. Where, I'll just like give you an example. I started getting better with getting up and walking, and even when I would just have to go to the bathroom myself, I didn't want to call a nurse. I just wanted to go there on my own. And when I got up and I walked over to the bathroom, it just felt like the greatest thing in the world. Not because I got to use it, but it was just to give you a little comparison. It was maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 20 steps or so to the bathroom. Just like here in my condo, it's maybe about 20 steps to the bathroom. And just to give you a little comparison, put some color on this, when I was walking to the bathroom, when I was before getting admitted to the hospital in my almost dying phase, I would go to the bathroom, do my stuff, come back, and I ran a marathon where I would have to lay down for an hour and not move to catch my breath again. And it would actually be pretty bad once I get to the bathroom, where my pulse rate was probably up to like 150 beats per minute. It's not good. And when I was in the hospital, just walking over to the bathroom, maybe my pulse raised about maybe 10 beats per minute, so I'd go up to about 105. So that was pretty damn good. I was pretty excited about that. And yeah, I was excited about just breathing better too. And let's see, what else? Yeah, one of the last things, actually a few things towards the end of my hospital stay were actually making me nervous, but they turned out all right. Was first off, my doctor, he was worried about me, and which made him a good guy, but come on, he was giving me a headache about this. He was worried about me leaving on the 7th day and going home because I didn't have anyone that I lived with, didn't have a roommate, didn't have a girlfriend, wife, whatever. And he was like, well, you know, what if you fall over and blah blah blah. And I was like, I'll be okay, I'll live. And one of the main things that I really had to hammer into him is the fact that the hospital did its job. Basically, it kept me alive. It started to open up the clogged stuff from the blood clot, and I just needed to go back to a regular bed and get regular night's sleep, because I just wasn't sleeping well at all at the hospital. And for the fact that the just with the way my way the bed was, it actually started damaging my legs, where my feet and legs were starting to swell up, and there are plenty of places that were actually numb. Like, I'll give you an example. It was on the last day, day 7, when I woke up from passing out from exhaustion. And I felt something weird on my knee. My first thought was, why the hell is my knee wrapped? Who put a bandage on my knee? Then I go and touch my knee, and there was no bandage. It was just numb. So yeah, it's like, yeah, I needed to go. And he was cool with that, so he was going to discharge me. The One of the problems, though, was really cool is one of my bosses from my company came over to help me out. Was one of the things about the Thai hospitals is even if you have insurance to go and pay partially for your hospital stay, they're not going to let you go until you pay for everything. That's true. People have been held until they're able to pay for the rest up front before they left the hospital. And you really can't blame them because, hey, these people are guests in the country, and it's like, oh, thank you so much for this cheap hospital care. And they disappear, go back to their own country, England, America, USA. And yeah, that's not cool. And I was definitely telling them that no, that's not going to happen, because I gave them pretty much every sort of piece of information available, where like with my email, my phone, my school was literally right out the window. Where I'm not joking, the hospital is like right next to my school, where I had some fun with nurses coming in. They're like, oh, doing the usual small talks, like, oh, how long you been in Thailand? Oh, 2 years. It's like, oh, what do you do? I'm a teacher. Oh, you're a teacher? Awesome. And some of them were actually pretty excited for the fact that, ooh, I'm waiting on a teacher. That's really cool, since teachers are pretty revered here. And then they'd ask me, oh, where do you teach? And I'd say, oh, right there. And like I said, my school was right outside. But anyways, they knew where I worked. They had my address of where I lived. So I was nowhere near the condition to disappear. So they didn't need to worry. One of the things that irritated me, though, was when it came to the payments, I was pretty upfront, pretty honest with them right off the bat. I didn't have the money to pay them off when I left. I had the insurance for paying a good deal of it, and I could get $600 from a school where I was going to get some English certification, just to give them a little bit of money until my parents sent the rest of the money. But I could not pay them up front. I did say, hey, or yeah, the other alternative I offered them was, hey, I could give you guys a payment plan. They're like, all right, well, we'll consider that. And that was maybe the first day, and I didn't find out until the 7th day that, yeah, they weren't going to go and humor that. And what really irritated me was the fact that they could have got their money a hell of a lot sooner if they just said no right off the bat, because it was probably day 5 into me being in the hospital where my parents took off for a week down to the Virgin Islands. Yeah, so if they told me that they weren't going to consider the payment, then I could have got the money for them a hell of a lot quicker. But everything all worked out with the payments, and they actually let me out, which never happens. Never happens. Do not assume that the luck that I had with getting released without having to pay anything yet is going to happen to you. You guys got to make sure, if you're planning on doing this, or if you have an emergency, you got to make sure that you have the money just in case the hospital says no, you're not going anywhere until you pay for everything up front, or pay for everything after you're done. So yeah, so that was basically it with being in the hospital. I can't remember the total bill, but what I paid was $600, and I'm going to owe my parents about $2,500. So with insurance, with all the tests I had to do with the CAT scan and all that, being in the hospital for a week, that was a total out of pocket of $3,100. Take that, Obamacare. And yeah, that's basically it for the hospital story. And thank you so much for watching up to this point. I'm going to do my absolute best not to make the next video as long as this one is. But speaking of the next video, yeah, if I thought I had a struggle in the hospital, wait until I get home, and that's when I really had to, yeah, that's when my rehab really began. But I'm going to save that for another video, because this is just over 20 minutes, and damn, it's long. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Got to watch them out, so see ya.